Alexa, turn on shop lights.
Okay.
Oh, hey, there you are. Well, I just wanted to talk about shop lights. Anyways, I wanted to do a quick video on how I set up my shop lights, because when I talk about it now, it's gonna seem simple, but there was actually a lot of thought put into it. So let's get to work. First off, I wanted to talk about the lights themselves. I chose they're 4-foot LED. They do not have a reflector on the top, so they also throw light up in addition to down. And I have white ceiling and white walls, so it all reflects pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Second, these specific lights are linkable. So I have them in rows of 4. So one light is linked to the other light, which is linked to the other light, which has worked pretty well so far. I chose 5000 K, 5000 Kelvin, whatever you want to say. So like 3000 is like yellow light, 4000 I think is called like warm white or something like that, or maybe bright white. And then 5000 is like a super bright white. I chose 5000, I like it, it's a super clean color. I like things white. So that choice is personal, but that's what I ended up choosing. So what did I end up doing? There are 18 4-foot light bulbs in here on the ceiling in initially 2 zones. It's actually more than 2 zones right now. But this is a 30 wide by 48 foot long shop. I've got 12 4-foot LEDs in this section of the shop. And then over here, there's a scissor truss area of the shop because I wanted a tall garage door without going taller ceiling. So I've got 13-foot walls and I've got a 12-foot garage door, which you wouldn't normally have, but I was able to do that because I did scissor trusses at the front. So I didn't have to raise up to a full 14-foot in order to get a 12-foot door. But because of that, I made 2 different zones here. So one is a front zone and one is a rear zone. And how I control those is with these. So these are my switches. I, of course, have everything labeled front and back. And these switches are the coolest switches ever. I also have one of these in my garage attached to the house, because motion switches are cool until you're under a car and all the lights shut off. Very annoying. I found these switches on Amazon. They are off, auto, and then on. So when you know you're going to be under a car or on the mezzanine or somewhere where they can't see you, you turn it to on, and then they don't shut off when you're in a precarious position or on a ladder or under a car. So these switches are really cool. I'll link to everything down below in the description. We have 2 zones, front and rear, off, auto, on, and then the lights themselves are hooked in via electrical plugs. So you can see my wall here is not quite done yet. I am still working on this portion of the wall, but you can see the lights just plug in. I've got 3 outlets on one circuit for the front, and then I have 3 outlets on another circuit for the rear. There's an additional outlet up here in the middle, but it's not switched because it's for the garage door opener. You'll notice these 3 outlets, I actually just last week decided to put Amazon smart plugs on them. So each one of these rows, not the front lights, I didn't put anything on the front lights because those are kind of already contained by themselves, but I work in here. I'm pretty much in here all day. If I'm on my computer, I don't want all of the lights on because it can be blinding. So sometimes I like to shut them off. So with the smart plugs on there, I actually have 4 zones. So I have the front that's on a switch, then I have the back that's on a switch. And now that I have smart plugs on the back, I just leave the rear switch always on, and I turn them all on or all off, or I can turn some on and some off. So, Alexa, turn off shop lights.
Okay.
So it turns off all of my rear lights, and well, obviously these aren't on a smart plug. So then I can be like, Alexa, are you listening? Alexa, turn on center shop lights.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on east shop lights.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on west shop lights.
Okay.
So anyways, everybody will probably laugh at this technology and how I did this in 20 years, but it's really pretty cool. So if I'm working at my computer over there and I don't want to be blinded and have a headache all day, I can say, Alexa, turn off center lights.
Okay.
And then I don't have to be blinded all day. I have options. That's the point here. The point here is I have options. Flexible lighting. When you make your lights so they're not fully hardwired and you can put something like smart plugs into the mix, you can actually do some really cool things with some very basic parts. The Amazon plugs, when they're on sale, they're like 15 bucks. So, I mean, for 45 bucks, you can do some really cool things. Pretty much everybody has a smartphone and maybe a Amazon, whatever, Echo Dot or whatever it is that I have. But I have that plugged into my stereo so I can hear it on I've got surround sound speakers all the way around the garage. All of these lights, I have the metal agricultural style panel ceiling, and all of these lights are so light, physically light, like in weight, that I have hung them all with magnets. You can order, and I'll put a link below, these hooks with a magnet on the end, and I legit have, I don't know if you can see them or not, but I have a hook on each end and then a hook in the middle of the wire, and that's it. They're all of these are held on by magnets. So if I ever get new lights in the future, I don't have any screw holes to contend with, and I can just swap them out. Last topic I want to cover is lighting when the garage door is up. There's been a lot of discussion about this, many years, decades, for a long time. I've seen everything from lights mounted on the bottom side of the garage door that plug themselves into an outlet when they get up to the top to bungee cord type power with lights on the back of the garage door. And the question is, how do you light underneath the garage door when the garage door is up? So I obviously have two lights above the garage door. There's not much I can do about that. But what I did do, and it seems simple when you think about it, but I don't see too many people do it, is since the rest of my lights are hung by magnets, I hung magnets from the garage door track. So when the garage door is up, these four lights still shine just as brightly as they did, because they're actually like ever so slightly below the garage door track. So let's get up here and check this out. That's it. That's all I did. So it's a light hung by magnets. And like I said, there's not much I can do for the center part. But those are kind of extra light anyways. These four light bulbs are all the light I need when my garage door is up. And when it's night out, my garage door is not usually up. And when the garage door is up and it's daylight out, you should get some daylight from the door. So it's really not an issue. I just wanted to show you. It's kind of a cool idea. Hang your lights from the garage door track. You don't have to mess with weird power cords or sketchy stuff. And when your garage door is up, the light still shines. The only other thing I can think of is they are all LEDs. I don't have any fluorescent lights in here. I don't like them. They burn out. They're hard to get rid of. They take more power. LED is the way to go. These lights are actually really cheap. I'll put a link down below. But if you really watch them, you can get them on some pretty good sales. So I hope that helps. That's how I lit up my shop. It has worked out very well. I'm very impressed. I've really liked everything so far. I have had to make a couple very small repairs, which is no big deal if you have a shop. Some of the rocker switches on the wires, I've had, I think 3 fail so far. And I actually took one apart just to see what was inside of them, and they're just cheap plastic rocker switches, and all I did was cut the 2 pieces of cord and put a butt connector and splice them together. And it was no big deal. It took me 3 minutes to fix, and the lights have been phenomenal ever since. I actually have the same lights in my attached garage that have been up for, I think, 7 years now, and not a single one has burned out. I've had LED light bulbs, like the screw-in light bulbs, burn out, but I have never had one of these lights burn out, which is really impressive, other than the cord issue with this just cheap switch. So anyways, that's how I lit up my shop. I'm very happy with it. It's been great. I hope this video helped you. Like and subscribe if you like it, so I keep creating more content. And you go out in your shop and work on something.